So next up, after we had Intruder 2 and we relocated to Shogo 162, we had Michiko. I actually remember this too. Michiko and Hachin had its last episode during Intruder because I actually remember seeing it. And then what would replace it?
Fine then, let's get started.
Mugen is the name, pal. You got that?
My name is G. Wait, what? You should remember it.
Mess with us and you're a dead man. I can handle you.
Mugen, Gene, and Fu.
Samurai shampoo. Samurai shampoo.
Vagrant Mugen! Vagrant and Ronin Jin! Are you ready to grovel at my feet and beg for forgiveness?
I'd rather die on my feet with my head held high.
I agree with him.
Okay, it's your turn now, pal.
All right.
Burn it to the ground!
Aren't you going to run?
Nah, I can't imagine a more perfect setting.
Samurai Champloo. Around this time, I was getting a lot more into Toonami. I was watching more of it. And I did see a couple episodes of Samurai Champloo, but I never saw the entire thing. I remember seeing some of the middle episodes, and then the ending. I remember seeing the last episode specifically because One Punch Man would premiere after. One Punch Man was its replacement. So I remember being all excited for that. But I recently did watch through all of Samurai Champloo, and it stupid good, really good. Like I like the whole like aesthetic they had going with like this. Was it Edo Japan? Like I'm not too knowledgeable on like Japanese history, but like that whole aesthetic combined with like with like these hip hop like there were moments, I'm not gonna lie, it made me feel like I was watching an episode of the Boondocks. But in a good way. Like yet again terrible with my opinions, but point that I'm trying to say is I really had a fun time watching Samurai Champloo. If it was up to me, somewhere in A. But yeah, how does everyone else feel?
I like
I'll go
Samurai
A.
Champloo. It's a great show. Yeah, I'd say A too.
Yeah.
A. All right.
Just the music alone. The music alone.
Oh, I have the opening stuck in my head still. Actually, I forgot it now. It's ironic because I was trying to say the name. Oh, Battle Cry. That's what it was.
Battle Cry. Yep.
Where would we put it on A?
High A, personally.
Yeah.
Above Kill
Probably,
Kill.
Yeah.
Above Parasite.
I'd probably put it above Parasite myself.
How do y'all feel on that? All right.
I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Above Parasite, below Black Lagoon. So the too bad Sketch had to step out for a minute, but I was actually hoping he'd be here for this one because next is
In the distant future, a discovery of the fourth dimension has allowed for abundant renewable energy for the whole world. To harness it, coils now power everything. But things aren't always as rosy as they seem. Illegal coils offer the underground a dangerous option. And it's up to collectors like Kiyoma Mabuchi to stop them.
None of you clowns have the stones to handle illegal coils.
His distrust of the coils may be the only thing that's gonna keep him alive.
If they destroy you, don't blame me.
Now, he must discover the secret within this one-of-a-kind android, Mira, as the world around him closes in to maintain a dark truth.
This is it! This is the beginning!
Toonami is proud to present Dimension W, Saturday, February 27th at 12:30. Power up.
Dimension W.
Pretty sure we didn't see this. I don't remember this.
This show certainly exists.
So it's kind of funny because I actually did remember watching it on Toonami, and I remember liking it. But then I also remember, I just remember the ending kind of came out of nowhere or something, uh, and then and then later I would ask the guys, "Hey, what's the consensus on this show?" And they're like, "Bro, it's freaking terrible. It's like mid." And I'm like, "Wait." So then I recently rewatched it for this, and in the beginning, I'm like, well, I'm having a good time. I like it. Like, I don't see where does it get bad. And then I see where it gets bad because I kind of liked it in the beginning when it was trying to be this like I not detective show, but like where I forgot his name is trying to hunt those coils down, and now he has Mira as his partner, and they're just going about their business, doing their work, and that's what I liked a lot. So I thought it was going to be a lot of that, but then like here comes a really rushed final ending arc out of nowhere, and all of a sudden all the plot lines get resolved, and there's just you're gonna out of nowhere introduce this scientist guy who's worked with the Mira's father from the beginning, and he was the one responsible for everything bad in this world, and then some big ass kaiju. And yeah, by the end of the show I was like, okay, yeah, I see why now. I think what disappointed me was that I really really loved the opening stuff, but those last few episodes just killed everything. So how do y'all feel in
Yeah.
Dimension W?
Bad show.
Yeah, the only thing I know about it is that I know the manga was still ongoing, so I'm assuming the anime decided to go off in its own direction.
I am tempted to look that up. Same with the Kami Got Killed, because I do want to see how the original, like the source materials, handled this.
Yeah,
I think the
I
most
know
interesting-
there's also an unaired episode of Dimension W, which, frankly, if this goes to show you anything about the show and its reception here, we got the Blu-rays, and then the OVA episode had been announced like 4 days before the American Blu-ray release, and they never even bothered to like dub it and put it on Crunchyroll that I know of. Like they just didn't even bother with that, and the company that licensed it in the UK, they licensed it and then just quietly dropped it and canceled the release. They just never even released it.
Jesus Christ.
I did like the. I will give it this. I did like the opening.
Oh,
yeah,
the opening's the best part.
The break
The opening was
dancing.
good. Like the breakdancing was fun. Like the theme song was good. Like so I can at least find something good to say about it.
I think the most interesting thing I could say about it is that this was done by Studio Orange before they started doing CGI anime.
Yeah.
I saw them
right.
in the
Yeah.
I saw them in the credits, and I'm like, wait, the same studio for Beastars and Trigun Stampede?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for me, like I think what killed me most about Dimension W was that I liked the begin. It's another case of they had us in the first half, not gonna lie. Because it's like I'm thinking it's gonna be somewhat of like a buddy cop type thing. Well, not cops, but like these two unlikely people having to pair up and freaking hunt down coils. But no, like they had two episodes of them going coil hunting, and then immediately we're just thrown into this freaking island final arc. And yeah, that was like, ugh, I did not like that. I did not
I
like
have
that
to
at
wonder
all.
how much Funimation asked to put this on Toonami. This seriously feels like we have this new show that we're co-funding. How about you air it, and we'll give it to you for basically nothing.
Yeah.
So
to its credit, it did pretty well on Toonami.
I mean, ratings wise, it didn't do half bad.
Yeah.
I guess people were just curious enough about something completely new.
Yep.
But it really fell apart at the end. There's some I like some characters, particularly Loser was an interesting character. I thought
Yeah.
Kyoma was an okay protagonist, and I liked Mira too. You know, it was fun
I just
watching them do things, but the story's just bad and overly condensed, and it's a mess.
which makes me really curious about like the manga and the source material because I'm actually am curious to look at that because Logan said it was still ongoing when the anime was made, so that already tells me okay, the source material has to be different. But
Yep.
where would we rank Dimension W? C, D?
Low
D
D.
D.
Yeah.
Would you put it
D put it above Tenchi in Tokyo.
above Tenchi
Yeah.
in Tokyo, below Yu-Gi-Oh?
Because Dimension W is at best inoffensive. unless
Inoffensive and
unless you
forgettable.
know anything about science, then it's very offensive.
Oh my god. Next up,
Every single year, millions of the world's most skilled applicants apply for the Hunter exam. But only a handful make the cut.
Will all of the applicants please enter?
Being a hunter is a dangerous job. You could die at any time for any number of ridiculous reasons.
You know it's a suicide mission, right?
Death is not among my fears.
Let's do this. 1, 2, 3.
Now's our chance, come on!
I'm becoming a hunter no matter what!
Toonami presents Hunter x Hunter. Premiere Saturday, April 16th at 1. You can't spell impossible without possible on Adult Swim.
another long-running show, and honestly, it was for the longest time my favorite anime until that got dethroned by another show we'll talk about later. Hunter x Hunter. And I remember I remember seeing the first few episodes, fell off it a bit, but then I came back in the end of the exam, like the Hunter exam. And then I stayed with it ever since. And I really love the show. The Chimera Ant arc is both depressing and it's stupidly bloated. But like that entire scene where Gon just has a meltdown over being unable to save Kite, and then what he does against Pito, literal goosebumps. The show and the show as a whole, you know, like it pretty much. I know for a fact that Yu Yu Hakusho walked so Hunter x Hunter could run, and Hunter x Hunter, because I would read the manga somewhat. Like I didn't catch up to it, but it had my attention like that, and I really liked. I liked Gon like as a main character, like and the relationship between Gon and Killua. For me, I would put this somewhere at the very lowest high B, maybe somewhere in A. How do y'all feel on it?
Bro, no, this is S.
Yeah.
Hunter x Hunter is peak shonen.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, it's another one of those symptoms of the only real disappointment is that it's not done. And, you know, obviously the circumstances behind Togashi and the manga are why the anime hasn't really been able to continue. So, like, it's a different situation from some of those other shows that don't have a continuation. So I don't really hold it against it for the same reason I would a different show.
Same. And
Yeah.
you know, where it ended was an okay ending.
It was
I mean,
fine,
like
yeah.
at the very
it could have
least,
been a lot worse.
I mean,
Yeah.
at the very least, it was Gon's ending because I know after that it becomes about Killua later. I mean, not Killua, Kurapika. Because I know he still has some unresolved business.
Oh boy, does he.
So so when I was saying A, I was just trying to be super nice because I didn't know if it was okay if I said S. But since y'all just said S, I'm going S. So like, where exactly on S?
Oh, I feel like either before or after OG Dragon Ball.
Before or after? Would you
I'd
put
probably
it? Would
go
you put
after
it
myself, but yeah.
above Full Metal Alchemist?
Yes.
You know,
If you're talking about top tier anime from shonen manga, Yu Yu Hakusho, Brotherhood, Hunter x Hunter 2011, and Dragon Ball are all that.
Yeah.
All right then. Well, so it'll be S tier between Full Metal Alchemist and Dragon Ball. Next up,
In the distant future, mankind has reached the stars, but the galaxy is troubled.
No more colonial rule!
The push for independence is spreading across Mars at an alarming pace.
The Calamity War is over, but Earth still rules Mars with an iron fist.
Earthsphere's economy depends on that used-up colony.
You little punks are to do exactly as we say, understand? Pick up the pace, kid!
They either smack us for a few laughs, use us as human shields.
Those who oppose them, fight.
Time for us to change the game.
Let's take him down, you guys! We're not gonna die! Not like this!
Their only hope for independence is a medically enhanced child soldier and a legendary mobile suit called Gundam.
Let's go, Barbatos.
Mika! I don't know where you got that thing, but do you really believe that you can take down the graves of Gjallarhorn with an old mobile suit like that?
That's right.
Toonami is proud to present a new chapter in one of the greatest anime sagas of all time, Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans, next Saturday at midnight.
Did you pieces of trash forget who you're dealing with?
I just wanted to make things clear. We're the ones who are in charge around here now. Got it?
Suit up again. Only Toonami on Adult Swim.
this would be the return of Gundam to Toonami, because it's been literal years. This is the first Gundam series on Adult Swim Toonami, and I'm not 100% sure because I wasn't in the community at the time, but was this a big deal or not? Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans.
It was a big deal at the time.
Yeah, it was a big deal because it was a relatively new Gundam show. It hadn't ended all that long ago in Japan.
Yeah, that dub turnaround was like 6 months.
Yeah, it was a really weird situation licensing wise too, because it was dubbed in LA by Bang Zoom, but Funimation got the license instead of Nozomi, like all the other Gundam stuff, and it was just weird. Like, I've never really understood why that happened, but it got it on Toonami, so that was great. In fact, a friend of mine did a bunch of secondary voices for the second season. I mean, I like IBO. The biggest problem I have with it is the end of the first season is very scattered, and it's because the production team got told kind of last minute that, oh, hey, we're giving you guys another season. And so a lot of the characters that they were planning to kill off, they were like, we really can't kill them yet. And so you can see plot threads that were going in a direction that suddenly just stop dead, and it feels completely unnatural, and it hurts the show for that.
I would agree.
I haven't seen it since it aired. And like, I don't know what exactly the context to this is, but I remember Silver made a joke thumbnail of Iron-Blooded Orphans, but he called it Pedo-Blooded Orphans.
I mean, it's really just because, I mean, I'm assuming it probably more has to do with the end of season 2 and some of the stuff that goes on there. I mean, to be fair, both characters are teenagers, so I mean, I know where he was going with that, so I wouldn't necessarily say he was wrong for it, but I mean, it was a big deal in general too, because the last like major TV Gundam show, especially one that got a dub, that and also had come over directly was Gundam 00 back in like 2008. And that didn't even air on Cartoon Network. That aired on Sci-Fi's, and they butchered it because they cut stuff that was after the after the credits and whatnot. So like then it was OVAs and movies and Reconquista and G, but it didn't get brought over here. It didn't get dubbed. So IBO was a big thing just because it was a return to TV Gundam that got a dub relatively quickly, and it got put on TV for us. So, it was a big deal. I mean, would I rank it above stuff like Seed and Wing? Probably not myself. But if so, I mean, I could see the argument that it might be the better show.
I think there are things about IBO that are better and also worse than both of those Gundam shows.
Yeah. I mean, so I guess if anything,
complicated.
maybe stick it smack in the middle of with the two of them and just rank it about the same.
Wait, where again? A, B? Sorry, I.
It would be C, like basically sitting right with Seed and Wing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So up, just like right there, like
between Wing and Seed.
Yeah.
All right. Next up.
This is an emergency evacuation warning. A giant creature of unknown origin has appeared in City D.
And the situation seems to be spiraling out of control.
Please evacuate immediately.
Guess I'll go.
Who are you?
Just a guy who's a hero for fun.
For fun!
I'm the hero I'd always dreamed of becoming.
We're unstoppable!
I became so powerful, no one can beat me. Having overwhelming strength is pretty boring, actually. Fear, joy, anger, I feel none of them anymore.
I'm gonna slice your eyes out with these. Huh?
I got dirt in my special pants place. Let me just shake this out. Before, I'd have all kinds of emotions whirling inside me when I fought.
Put a spin sight on that big headlight of yours!
Now, all I need is one punch to end it.
I am the subterranean...
What a weakling!
You're gonna pay for my sealer.
Twin blade kick!
Checkmate. Oops.
Sorry. You will never beat the Beast King.
Is this the guy you mean?
Try and stop me!
I just do the hero thing as a hobby. But as long as I get a kick out of it, in the end, that's all I really care about.
Emergency evacuation. A new monster has appeared in City F.
Occurrences of tiger-level threats and above are increasing in frequency.
Time to hunt. All of these nobodies combined wouldn't be enough to take me down. Let's find out who's the strongest in here.
Hello, my name is Saitama. What's shaking?
I've been waiting for this moment.
Come at me, bro.
I'll kill you so bad you'll beg for death.
Nice. I'm hyped.
Killing you is the reason I've come.
Wasn't expecting that. The world is chock full of super strong and pretty awful people. Standing up to them is what heroes do. Even if that means doing it alone.
Get ready for Season 2 of One Punch Man, premiering next Saturday at 11:30.
You need a hand or...
No! I have to be able to handle this on my own!
Okay then. Try not to lose.
Only Toonami on Adult Swim.
So I've mentioned a couple times in the past. So I wouldn't really commit to watching Toonami. At the very least, I wouldn't commit to it every week and watch all the shows until One Punch Man came to the block. Once One Punch Man joined, that's when I was locked in. And so our next show, One Punch Man, and I'm including both seasons here. And I remember how big of a deal this was back then because I wasn't even watching anime at the time. And I just remember everyone talked about One Punch Man. One Punch Man this. Can Saitama beat Goku? All that stuff. So like when I heard that One Punch Man was coming to Toonami, I was like, all right, that's it. I'm locked in. I'm ready to go. I am ready to see the show because everyone talked about it. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch it on Toonami. And I really had a lot of fun and I enjoyed it. That was season one. And then, freaking 4 years later, season two finally dropped, which, because I recently did rewatch One Punch Man, and I will say that season two, yes, is a downgrade from season one. However, it is not the worst animation I've seen. There's been way worse like action animation than One Punch Man season two. I'm not a fan that
And beyond
JC's.
that, the story, the humor, it's all still pretty good.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan that like
Season two stepped down from season one
season.
story.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said I think season 2 of One Punch Man is a step down in terms of story and humor from season 1.
Well, yeah.
They ended it in
They
the
used their
middle of
best
an
stuff
arc.
in the first. They used the best stuff in the first story arc.
And the fact that season 2 ends in the middle of an arc. So that's fun.
That doesn't help. And we're still waiting on that third season.
Supposedly this year, apparently, but I mean, it's still JC staff. I remember they announced season three, and everyone was saying that it's going to be Mappa, and no, it's JC staff again. I'm like, the Mappa recently cooked with Jujutsu Kaisen, the Shibuya arc, which if you haven't seen Jujutsu Kaisen season two, specifically the Shibuya arc sketch, do yourself a favor. That the animation is fucking insane. But like,
I'll wait till Toonami.
Tush, I hate.
I'm still waiting.
One Punch Man comes back to bite him after the break.
Think you can run from me?
You demanded it, Toonami delivered. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is coming up next.
Scarlet Overdrive!
Anyway, but I don't know. But One Punch Man as a whole, seasons one and two, I like story wise. I love the show a lot because it's essentially a lot of these shows are about like, oh, this character wants to be strong and all that. But what if you have a character who's already the strongest and to just beat up everyone? What do you do now? It's One Punch Man is supposed to be that the message of like, well, if you manage to become the best, then what now? What do you do after that? Which, I kind of see them explore that topics like I remember the one scene where King and Saitama are having a conversation, and Saitama's like, like I didn't really feel, and then King is telling him, like, you need to look at it from a different perspective, and like, you say you're the best, yeah, you're the best at this, but like, truly, have you ever thought, like, I kind of forgot a lot of what they were talking about, but like, and then all the other characters around Saitama are just as interesting. Like, I mean, if we're gonna be honest, Saitama is like the main character, and yet there's so many moments where he's not on screen. Um, it, I Genos I like a lot. Speed of Sound Sonic. I don't know if he becomes a monster or not. Like like they gave him those monster cells. I am reading the manga because I planned on reading the manga after I caught up. Also, Tornado and Blizzard exist.
Ladies.
That's
Yes, they do.
but
And they're really powerful. It's nice to see really powerful female characters.
Yes. And also on the anime side, yeah, season one's like phenomenal. That be like so. The thing is
It
that
punched way above its weight class.
The thing I say with season one, I said this a while ago because like I made the same. I say One Punch Man season one is kind of like Fooly Cooly season one. in like the sense that like you had the right people at the right time doing this. It was like capturing lightning in a bottle, and you can't replicate that again. Which, for Fooly Cooly, we'll talk about later. But for One Punch Man, that's what I say in terms of season 1 to season 2, and possibly season 3. I still don't understand why they kept JC Steph. Um, but for me, for One Punch Man as a whole, I would put this in A tier at least.
Yeah, like season 1 is really, really, really good.
Yeah.
Season 2 drags it down for me. If it was just season 1, I would say F. But
at the very
same.
least, they should have made season 2 like a 2-core season to at least tell the whole arc in a single season and not stretch it out.
I don't know why they did 12 episodes again. That's weird.
So where in A would we put it?
Oh, how about above Dead Man?
Above Dead Man?
Yeah, that's fair.
So and
You're
end of
aiming too
A.
high. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Next up.
This moment's been a long time coming, JoJo.
Dio, you villain! What sort of monster have you become? That mask must be destroyed, and its master must be reduced to ash!
You dare think you could lay a finger on me? I will stand astride this world. Humanity will kneel at Dio Brando's feet.
I'm not going to let you kill anyone else! Your fight is with me!
Prepare for the carnage!
Courage is to look your fear in the eye and know that it has no dominion over you. Bare your soul. Hold nothing back lest you not survive beyond this moment. Dio! I'm not done with you!
Won't you die already?
My spirit trembles. My heart is ablaze. Sento Hormone Overdrive!
Blood is thicker than water. Get ready for the premiere of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Saturday, October 15th at 12:30.
JoJo!
Only Toonami on Adult Swim.
Feel the beat of my hormone overdrive!
Granny should be able to sleep well tonight.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So I did a little different for JoJo. JoJo, I actually decided to split up its seasons. Well, I say that, but part 1 and 2 are together, but like 3, 4, and 5 are their own shows, because JoJo parts are essentially different shows in my opinion. Like sometimes they have connecting themes, like one part will connect to the other, but overall each part of JoJo is essentially its own show. So for JoJo, I decided to split it up, even though part 1 and 2 are the same because they're classified as season 1. So that's why I kept part 1 and 2 the same. But JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, this was also a big deal, right? It's funny too because I actually remember watching that April Fool's promo that Junior uploaded years ago, and everyone apparently was wanting JoJo for the longest time. So
I
JoJo
couldn't
was
get it
announced.
because Warner Brothers, their parent company, wouldn't allow them to, or at least for a cheap price. It's just so dumb.
Absolutely hilarious. It took until Viz licensing it before Toonami could even get their hands on it.
Yeah, and Warner released one of quite possibly the worst anime DVDs of the modern era when they released the first season. That DVD was a fucking joke.
And it's wild to think that we're back to where we were again. But yeah. So for this, it's specifically JoJo Part 1 and 2 that we're ranking. I remember it's funny too because when I always saw JoJo, I always thought of Part 3. Like I always thought of Stans, I thought of Jotaro and all that. So when JoJo came out and it was Part 1 and it was Jonathan Joestar and hormone breathing and all of that, I'm like, where's the cool guy with the hat and the thing with the I forgot it wasn't called like Stan, but then I actually watched part 1 and then part 2, and I'm like, I'm having a lot of fun with this. I hate Dio to death. He killed the dog, which, I mean, the show has an obsession with animal cruelty. It's insane.
It does.
So fucking insane. But
spoiler alert, I think part 3 is the worst JoJo.
Oh,
spicy.
The biggest hot take here, but I kind of agree.
We'll get
Think about season 1. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, you have to, get through Phantom Blood." It's like, bitch, Phantom Blood is amazing.
Yeah, I don't understand like that perspective on it. I like it.
Like, it's not peak, but it's really entertaining stuff.
I'd have to say
I just think Battle Tendency is a lot better than Phantom Blood.
Yes, Battle Tendency is really, really good, though. I mean,
Joseph.
The whole Nazi thing is.
Joseph is my favorite JoJo.
Same. Well, until he cheats on his wife.
I just love the
But I still like old man Joseph. I can't lie.
What's his name? Ben Diskin. I think that's Ben.
Ben Diskin was young
doing his
Joseph
number one
Joestar,
voice.
doing his number one voice. I love it. I love the dub Battle Tendency. Dude, even Bryce Papenbrook's awful Italian Caesar.
Oh wait, that was Bryce as Caesar. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Because I didn't see it since it ran on Toonami, so I didn't know too many actors at the time. But now that you say that, I gotta look into that now. So where would y'all rank JoJo Part 1 and 2, specifically Season 1 of JoJo?
A?
A's good.
Yeah.
I think behind Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
Behind Black Lagoon, above Samurai Champloo.
Yeah.
All right. Next up.
Tom, we have an emergency. New sensors are showing dangerous seismic activity around us.
There's something out there in that storm.
You need to get back to the station now. Tom, we have an emergency. New sensors are showing dangerous seismic activity all around us. You need to get back to the station now. There's been a hull breach. Sensors show the hull breach right ahead of you.
Can't confirm visual yet.
The second total immersion event for the Adult Swim era of Toonami, Intruder 3.
What an uninspired name.
Yeah.
I was also going to say that this doesn't really, they should have called this something else, because this really doesn't have anything to do with
It's all about
Intruders or
worms.
Intruder. Yeah, worms.
They could have called it something else.
Should have called it in Tremors.
Tremors. Giant pink worm.
It was a fine little push of the lore, introducing Georgia. It was on. They fought some worms.
Worm that they don't do anything with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I'd probably throw it down with the other ones from the Cartoon Network era. So like B,
I'd
maybe
even
less.
toss it below them. It's probably. Let's just put it at the top of C.
Top of C.
Yeah, that's fair. Just thinking about it, yeah, Countdown's probably the like better between. If I'm just judging between those two, so yeah.
Countdown actually does something with the characters.
Yeah, that's the thing. It actually goes somewhere.
Intruder 3 is just kind of like, there's worms. We gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
It turns out that this base that we've been in all this time is actually a huge spaceship. That was kind of cool.
And now they're back in space. Cool. Oh, and Sarah has a new body now. Like she now has like a pixie form.
Yeah.
What was I going to
There's so
say?
many I really stopped doing like total immersion events yearly.
So next up,
All contact has been lost with the Vesta 1 command crew. They are cut off and all alone. Or are they? Check out the new animated short, Scavengers, next Saturday night starting at midnight. Only Toonami.
Now for an extra treat. Scavengers.
was where did I get this one? Oh, so
It's a
this is
Scavengers.
the Scavengers.
The original pilot for
the-
Scavengers, which is a fascinating piece of animation.
Yes.
It was a very interesting short. I love the show Scavengers Reign. Great series that's never airing on Toonami. Thank you, Warner.
Watch it on Netflix. But yeah, so Scavengers, the pilot short. Where do y'all think that would fall?
It's really good. How about after Intruder 1?
After Intruder 1?
I would agree with that.
Alrighty.
Right.
So, next up.
Man, it's been way too long.
I'm proud to say world peace on Earth is now officially permanentized.
Do you really think you have to keep training?
Yeah! Majin Buu was ridiculously strong. And you never know. One day, someone even stronger could show up. So I've got to keep training to keep you guys safe.
Another planet has been decimated. Just what could be happening out there? This is bad. Horribly, horribly bad. Lord Beerus the Destroyer has awoken.
I see him clearly. The ultimate fighter. His power will keep me suitably entertained.
You've waited long enough. And now the time has come. Toonami is proud to present Dragon Ball Super. Premiering January 7th at 11:30.
I will find him. This Super Saiyan God.
The tournament will have the strongest warriors from across the multiverse.
If we lose, our entire universe will be destroyed. Bring it!
Energy's rising, overflowing. I spend every tortured hour in this hellscape dreaming of fighting you again.
The whole cosmos will know the glory of Prince Vegeta!
Dragon Ball Super, Saturdays at 11.
Be a warrior. Reawaken the fighter you truly are.
Only Toonami on Adult Swim.
Another pretty big deal. And I actually remember the news to this, not for Toonami getting it, but the original news of Dragon Ball coming back to TV. The first new Dragon Ball series in years, which kick-started after the success of Battle of Gods and Resurrection F. But Dragon Ball Super. If y'all were watching when it launched in Japan, that was a fun. Like I say, the biggest mistakes was them retelling Battle of Gods and Resurrection F with worse animation, and then the original stuff was really good. I liked the Universe 6 tournament, although I feel like we didn't need another carbon copy of Cell. And it's kind of crazy that he's not even the latest copy of Cell. For those who read the manga. But like, so the Universe 6 stuff was really fun. And then I remember the Goku Black, the Future Trunks stuff. That was like when Super was really getting trending online because everyone at the time was making theories on who could go. And this was such a big thing at the time. Who is Goku Black? Is he Goku? Is he Zamasu? Is he like some like everyone had their own theories on who Goku Black could be. I remember that time on the internet. That was a fun time. But then everyone liked the Goku Black stuff, but no one liked the ending to it. It's so freaking where like the Zenos just explode the universe, and like all of a sudden, their future Trunks and future Mai are now living in another timeline with the same with other copies of it. It's so fucking weird.
On the
And
plus
then
side, it gave us Eric Vale's greatest line as Trunks ever.
hold your
He's not
fire.
black.
This man isn't black. I'm so shocked that that stayed, and like they never edited it either. Oh my god.
They knew exactly what they were doing.
Uh, oh god, like that, like the show is great. No, and then and then no, it wasn't even just that. It was also that one filler episode where aliens think Mr. Satan is the strongest man, so they want to fight Mr. Satan, but then Mr. Satan gets Goku to fight him. But then
Oh no, my tractor!
oh no,
That is the greatest ad lib.
oh no, my tractor! It's so fucking great. But then we get to the Universal, the survival tournament, and like like that was really fun too. Like playing with the concept of like different universes and like seeing like other beings from there. It was I really enjoyed it. But then in the last section where everyone is just fighting Jiren and the universe and the Pride Troopers, that was kind of overstaying its welcome. And there were just some choices I didn't like hey, let's reuse Vegeta's sacrifice from the Buu saga. Or like or okay, I was about to say something else, but then I realized this wasn't in the anime. This was a manga thing. So would y'all believe me if I told you that in the manga, Master Roshi actually went toe to toe with Jiren?
What?
He went toe to toe with Jiren in the manga.
Okay.
Like
I mean, good for Roshi.
He had he was dodging his punches and all that, and Goku sees that, and that's kinda how he somewhat gets Ultra Instinct. That's not a lie. Um, so if you read the Dragon Ball Super, like just a little tangent, the Dragon Ball Super manga, it's a little different from the series because like they started with the Battle of God stuff, they skipped the Resurrection F stuff, went straight into the Universe 6 stuff, but they tell the events differently from the anime. So there's a lot of different things that the manga does compared to the anime. So like another example is the Future Trunks stuff in the manga is way different like than the anime. Like example, Goku Black, he doesn't even go Rose at first. He actually gets normal gold-haired Super Saiyan, and then he goes Rose. And then they also do a lot of retconning. It's weird. I suggest reading the manga version of Dragon Ball Super. But everyone says, and I say it too, the manga version of the Universe 6 stuff is so god awful. It's worse than the anime. It's actually funny. The manga version of the Goku Black stuff is better than the anime, but the manga version of the Universe 6 stuff is worse than the anime. One thing I do have to give Dragon Ball Super one thing like they redeemed Android 17. Like that was like no one saw that coming when he would because when they showed the posters for the universe survival stuff, everyone was like, whoa, Android 17, he's gonna be part of the team. That's pretty cool. And at first it was like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. But then it's so wild that he ended up being the MVP of of the whole tournament and had the biggest. He had some of the best moments in the arc. Had the had a Chad line at the end. He was the one that wished for all the universes to come back. I find it funny. It's like they're trying to say sorry for Super 17 and GT, in my opinion. But what I'm trying to Dragon Ball Super, great time. It's not the greatest show ever though. It has a lot of flaws. So if it was up to me, I would put it high B, low A. How do y'all feel about it?
I mean, I like it. I don't think it's better than it's weird because like if I had the choice on which one I'm gonna watch, I'd probably pick Super before I'd pick like Z. Even though I
Ooh.
do think Z's the better show. It's hard to explain, but like I feel like I enjoy Super slightly better if I'm subtracting the first 27 episodes, something like that. Just because honestly, yeah, redoing the movies was a waste of time. But I understand why they had to do it. So it's like, all right, fine, whatever.
What a lot of people do is that like, because everyone says if you're new to Dragon Ball and you're going from Dragon Ball Z, for Super, everyone says just watch the 2 movies and then start at like, I forgot the number, but the episode after Resurrection F, like where they start the new stuff.
Yeah, I mean there is some fun stuff that they expanded in there, like the Ginyu stuff.
Ginyu coming back.
That stuff's fun.
Resurrection F is, a bit worth your time if you already saw the movie.
Oh,
but Battle of Gods wasn't at all.
Yeah, no, that one's a total waste.
Like 13 episodes for Battle of Gods? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, like I'd still probably watch the first episode because that one, as I recall, is pretty much all unique stuff.
It's essentially you could say it's a prequel to Battle of Gods.
Yeah. So then I'd ignore the rest of that
and technically,
and
technically, there's an episode that bridges Battle of Gods and Resurrection F. That's completely original too, where it's like where just how they end up training on his planet and like how they kind of stumble upon the blue form.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. High B is probably fair.
But don't worry, guys. The show's totally coming back for a season 2. Okay, Geekdom on the internet said so.
Any day now.
Curious to see though how Dragon Ball Daima, when that comes out, how that'll rank amongst.
Well, it'll be nicely animated.
Yeah, they spent a lot of time. But how does everyone else feel on Dragon Ball Super?
I am not a fan of Dragon Ball Super. I kind of wish it didn't exist.
Oh my god. Ooh. Why say that, good sir?
It's just needless.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I will say that
there are some ideas that I think that I think there are some worthwhile ideas in there, but it just no.
I still contend, and I think I said this when we talked about GT. I still contend that just the Frieza Resurrection Wish alone makes GT hard to reconcile with like direct canon, because I'm sorry, when you have those dragons, like the dragons that were generated by the most evil wishes used on the Dragon Balls, or like the most powerful wishes, like I'm sorry, but Oolong wishing for panties versus then Frieza getting wished back from death, I'm pretty sure that's gonna rank a lot higher than panties.
Yeah.
So that one, that's one of the things that Super and granted you can
but
also
were
play that blame on
panties
the movie.
unnecessary evil?
Well, and the idea was it was never necessarily evil wishes. It was just like the power of the wishes in general. So I mean, I guess like they're kind of on like, I mean they're minimal wishes compared to like, oh, we wished back the entire population of a planet. But I don't know. It's just
I don't care how it messes with canon. I just don't like Super very much.
That's fair.
I'm pretty over it.
So I guess high B then.
That's where I put it. I mean,
can we put it after Soul Eater?
Okay, I could accept that.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, next up.
Tell me, do you believe in the existence of new types, Captain?
What's this?
Spend enough time on the battlefield and you'll encounter a sort of power that can't be explained away easily.
Target has been acquired.
Since its victory in the 1-year war, the Federation has lived in fear of this unseen power.
remember this. I've seen this before.
The power that screams, j'accuse at the privileged class that lives on Earth.
Help me. I'm afraid something terrible will happen.
The power that calls all the abandoned space noids to awaken.
For the first time in my life, I knew what I was supposed to do.
The unidentified single-horn suit transformed or morphed. It's a Gundam! Get the hell out of my way!
Toonami presents Gundam Unicorn, premiering January 7th at 1.
Another Gundam show. Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn. The only thing I remember from this put me to sleep.
If you want to watch Gundam Unicorn, watch the OVA. Don't watch the TV.
Yeah, Gundam Unicorn is a very pretty OVA and a not very well-paced TV series.
Yeah, like that's the thing. The difference between the Gundam Unicorn 7-episode OVAs and the re-0096 TV cut is if 0096 had been, say, 12, maybe 14 episodes, it would probably be just fine. The problem is they stretched it into like 22 episodes or whatever. And so like the longer it goes on, the longer the recaps of the last episode start to be, because they had to pad the thing out to make it fit the runtime they needed. And like by the time you get to the final episode, it's basically like, hey, the first half of this is recapping everything you just saw in the last episode because we literally don't have any more content to do here. And rather than animate, like there's literally like 2 new pieces of animation in the entire run that were not in the OVAs. And like even then they only corrected like one shot that they messed up in the OVAs. It's, you know, I'm a big fan of Unicorn. I mean, I really enjoyed it, but not the TV cut. Watch like Sam said, watch the OVAs.
Even beyond that, I just think the ending's kind of stinky.
Yeah,
it's a weird ending because like people to this day still argue, are they actually time traveling or are they just, you know, seeing images of the past? And it's like, nobody's ever actually clarified on that one.
Doesn't matter.
I mean, yeah, and the thing is, there's talk that because there's Gundam NT or Narrative, which was a side story / sequel from the same writer as Unicorn, and supposedly according to Sunrise's roadmap, there's supposed to be another Unicorn OVA at some point, but who knows if or when that will ever happen.
I'm looking at C, and it could probably be somewhere pretty low on C, but top of D makes sense to me.
Honestly, yeah, if I'm judging it solely based on the TV version, yeah, I'd go D.
So would you put it at the very top?
Yeah. Because
because
that's
as
where
bad
it
as
straddles.
Final Act and Blue Exorcist.
Yeah, well, like that's where it straddles the line of like, I like the content of the story, the execution of the TV cut's bad. So it's like I would rank it C otherwise, but it's you know, the method of delivery drags it down.
Yeah, like we got all these other Gundam shows in the C tier. I'm like, it's got to be significantly lower than that. Because as many problems as those have, they're nowhere near as bad a watching experience.
Yeah.
All right then.
That'll
Next up. The little
wow.
Sand, Whale, and Me. This was made with Toonami's 20th anniversary. It was released, what was it, 4 episodes, I think, per. So this was during the 20th anniversary celebration. I have not seen it since then. I probably should have watched it before that because I'm having a hard time remembering it.
I
Same,
forgot this existed.
It was a fever dream.
To be completely honest, I kind of view it as here's AT&T money, Mamoru Oshii. Here, have some
Yeah.
money from us.
Yeah.
Was not
Yeah,
expecting a live action thing from Mamoru Oshii.
See, I'm not surprised by that just because like I've worked on some of his other movies like Fast Food Grifters. So
Right.
that doesn't surprise me, and like the weirdness of it doesn't surprise me if you look at some of his other stuff. But it just it's definitely Oshii, but it's just a bad fit for Toonami. It just didn't make sense.
Just kind of weird. But that said, I don't think it's terrible. It's just
okay.
It's just whatever it is.
It just it exists. like
It
I said, I forgot it existed.
It exists. Put it next to King Star King.
Yeah.
It exists tiers.
It exists tiers. What was King Star King again?
Lower.
C?
Lower C next to G.I. Joe.
Oh, next to G.I. Joe, yeah. There it is. Behind or above?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I'd say
They're about
behind.
equal.
I think King Star King has a better creative vision.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, next up.
People, children, flesh, man, flesh, family, flesh, girl, flesh, woman, flesh, boy, flesh. No way! There's no way that I could ever eat another person's flesh! I want to eat that, but I know I can't! What's happening to me?
Humans aren't your friends. They're nothing but food to eat.
I can't be a ghoul! Not if this is what it's like!
This is ridiculous. Why don't you just give in already? A half-breed like you isn't gonna last 5 seconds out here.
I'm not like you monsters!
The ghouls of this once quiet ward are suddenly becoming more active. It's our sworn duty to drive every last ghoul out of Tokyo.
Nasty little insect. I'm alone. I'm not a human or a ghoul. There's no place for me.
I'm coming for you, Kamachi.
Toonami is proud to present the premiere of Tokyo Ghoul, Saturday at 1 a.m. Eat up.
A very controversial show for 2 reasons. Tokyo Ghoul. Controversial in the sense that it was a horribly animated adaptation. And it was also controversial because this was when One Piece got canceled and this replaced One Piece. And everyone was not happy that you replaced peak fiction with garbage.
And so late, like everybody was talking about Tokyo Ghoul like 2-3 years before that. And I know Toonami can be late to the show sometimes and it works out okay, but this time nobody cared.
Nobody cared.
Yeah, nobody
cared, and
bothered. I think everyone was like, "Oh, they're going to run season 1, and then just going to stop." No, guys, when they acquire season, they acquire everything.
There are things about that second season that I kind of like, but man, it's just a mess of an adaptation.
And thank God they never bothered with Ree. They never bothered with Ree.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I remember watching it, and yet again, I haven't seen it since the run, so my memory's fuzzy. But like, I remember enjoying the first few episodes, and then I remember this man getting captured and tortured ungodly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then like after that, I was like, "What's going on anymore?" Like at that point, I had no idea what was going on. But how do you all feel? Would this be a C or a D?
D.
D for me because like, I don't even think I finished it when it was running.
I would go with D. Put it after Unicorn.
On D after Unicorn.
No, wait. There's some
for
pretty
Tokyo
good
Ghoul.
shows in D actually. there's some decent stuff in here.
Would you put it above Dimension W?
Yes. Yes, I would put it above Dimension W.
Yeah.
Dimension W below Yu-Gi-Oh? Above Dimension W below Yu-Gi-Oh?
Sure.
All right. And next up,
Lupin!
Lupin!
That man is a notorious thief who works all over the world!
Let's go meet this treasure that's soon to be ours.
Don't say that I didn't warn you.
Stop that woman! You can't fool me! You're planning something again!
Jeez, Pops, can't get anything past you.
He'll steal your heart, and then he's coming for everything else. Lupin the Third, premiering next Saturday night at 2.
Take it off.
That'll be my pleasure.
Only Toonami on a.
the return of Lupin the Third to TV at least, because I mean, I'm going off like knowledge, like Logan could probably tell you better, but like Lupin the Third, it had like part 1, 2, and 3. They were TV animes, and then like for the longest time they were like relegated to like OVAs and movies and things. So like part 4 was like the first new Lupin the Third TV anime in years. Am I
Speaking of a
right
company
on that?
brute forcing a show into success.
Lupin the Third Part 4 and Lupin Part I have Lupin separated too. So Part 4, 5, and 6 are their own
That
thing.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So Lupin Part 4.
I love Part 4. Part 4 is my favorite of any of the Lupin shows, and considering I've worked on all of them but Part 6 and Part 2, because Discotech had released Part 2 before I worked for them, I adore Part 4. I wish that Rebecca were a regular character in the subsequent specials and seasons. They finally introduced a character that actually was strong enough to become a part of the Lupin gang, and it's a crime that they have not used her more.
Does it hurt you that she showed up in Part 5 for like one episode and then pieced out ever since?
No, I mean, it was disappointing in the fact that they didn't use her more than that, but it was great that they didn't just relegate her to only existing in Part 4. So it was, at least something. But yeah, I mean, like that was the thing, was Lupin Part 2 aired on Adult Swim back in the day, and that dub was a little more goofy, but like it introduced the cast that in my opinion is like the Lupin cast. Like Richard Epcar, Tony Oliver, like it's when I think of Lupin, that's my cast. And like, I don't know, just Part 4 nailed it. The biggest disappointment for me with Part 4 was we got the international version, so we didn't get the Yuji Ono score.
Yeah.
And it had those
different
really
music?
annoying... Yeah, we got different music because it was produced for the Italian market, because Lupin is extremely popular in Italy. So that's why it's the Italian season.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, they produced 2 sets of music. Yuji Ono, who did all the Lupin music, produced the Japanese soundtrack, but internationally, they would not let us use anything but the international soundtrack. Now, I love the opening and ending themes for the international soundtrack. The general episode music is, I mean, it's fine. Like, it's not bad, but it's just also not great.
Yeah, I forgot about this.
Yeah, the biggest issue I have with the international cut is that super annoying introductory video that's like a minute and a half long. That's like, I'm Lupin the Third, and I'm Jigen, and I'm Goemon, and like, it's the thing was, it would have been perfectly fine if that had been on like maybe the first 2 or 3 episodes, and then they cut it. but it was on every single freaking episode.
Tuh.
That was annoying. I did not like that, and I wish they had cut that, but, you know, what can you do? So, for me, this would be like mid-level A. For me, I'd put it around Big O.
I remember enjoying So this was my first Lupin show, mainly just because I never really seen Lupin before. But like I remember having a lot of fun with it. And yeah, I'm with Logan that I really did it. I liked Rebecca a lot. And I wish she stayed more than just in part 4. Uh, how do y'all? Well, how did Sketch and Sam? How do y'all feel on Lupin part 4?
I'm not a big Lupin guy.
I like Lupin pretty well. I think A's a bit high, but looking at some of the other shows in A,
Would you put it on low A, say underneath Dead Man Wonderland? Or
how about between One Punch and Dead Man?
between One Punch and Dead
I
Man
can accept
Wonderland?
that.
I kind of flip flop on which of part 4, part 5, and part 6 of which one I like the best. Because there's different things I like about each of them. I don't know. Yeah, let's just go with that for now.
All right. Next up.
No way, we got it! That treasure's been at the bottom of the ocean for 100 years, and now whatever's in it is ours.
It seems like this thing was locked from the inside. Something's written on it. D-I-O.
How could a human being stay buried underwater for 100 years?
Because that person is evil incarnate, and his name is Dio. Now that he has been awakened from his 100-year slumber, it is our fate to fight that man.
There's some sort of invisible string that connects you all to him. His rebirth is also your own, awakening your sleeping powers. I'm afraid this may get a little bit rough.
The only way to break this curse is to find Dio and kill him.
I will eliminate them all. The Joestar clan must be destroyed.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
Get ready for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stardust Crusaders, premiering next Saturday at 12:30.
Your death will be swift and painful!
You sure about that?
Only Toonami on Adult Swim.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stardust Crusaders. And this is the one part of JoJo that everyone talks about, and the one piece of JoJo that I thought was just the entire show, but no, that's just part 3. JoJo Part 3, looking back on it, like I had a lot of fun with Part 3, but I think at the time I wasn't a fan of them being like an episodic thing, where they're like, hey, here's a new stand user every episode, sometimes a 2-parter and all that.
It got pretty ridiculous.
I honestly think that was like the original OVA that came out years ago.
The stand user is the orangutan, and the boat is the stand.
Oh my god, that's so freaking.
One time they had to fight the sun. It was just like Super Mario Brothers 3.
He literally just tossed the rock at it. Oh god, I'm trying to I guess what would y'all say your favorite stand battle is? Mine would have to be Darby the player, like the card game, not the video game.
That was a good one. That was a good one. Good. Yeah, I did enjoy that.
I mean, also like Dio, of course, because like another thing is that Part 3 is kind of a meme, specifically the Japanese version, because you got
Dio was really good.
Because you got Dio's actor just going all over the place, and then you got Zawardo. So I guess where would y'all put Part 3 then?
How about behind Soul Eater?
Behind Soul Eater, above Dragon Ball Super?
Yeah.
All right. So one thing I forgot to mention, I probably, because I was lost in thought for a quick second when y'all were on Lupin, but actually I did see the first episode of Lupin Part 4. in Momocon because they screened it there. That was the first event that I live.
Everyone just left after their whole presentation, like, "Oh, we made our announcements. Here's an episode of Lupin." Everyone leaves.
And there was some people still there. But yeah, that was also my first live Toonami panel. That was also my first year of Momocon, and I made Momocon.
Thanks, Richard Epcar, for spoiling it.
No, that was part 5. That was part 5.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can be forgiven
right. It was
you can be forgiven
TMS
for
press
mistaking
release.
that. Yeah, but you can be forgiven for mistaking that because there have been instances where some of us on the Lupin production team have been like, we should probably ask him to delete that tweet because it's potentially spoiling things.
So yeah. So next up is
Figure out a way to loop up this shit if you have to. If you can. You have to. Or we're all dead.
Countdown, and I actually remember they screened the first trailer to this at Momocon. Same, but yeah, Countdown, the third total immersion event of the Adult Swim era, and y'all already were saying that it's better than Intruder 3, and I agree with y'all there. How do y'all feel on Countdown?
I like this stuff building the story of Tom and Sarah. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, apparently Sarah gets corrupted and she becomes like super evil and everything. And that apparently there's now 2 timelines. One of Tom just floating in space, while the other Tom is just back on the Absolution. He's a little scarred, but he's still on the Absolution. Or the Vindication, that's what they called it.
Mm-hmm.
So how do y'all feel on Countdown? Where would y'all rank it then?
I might actually above the Cartoon Network ones.
Yeah, thinking more about it, that's kind of where I'm going with it, just because the whole like future Tom and Sarah thing was kind of interesting.
Maybe even the bottom of A.
Bottom of A?
I could go with that.
So like underneath Dead Man?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Well,